wish you understood how Nuno Bettencourt does this. Well, me too. But today I'm going to do my best to demystify what exactly is going on, at least in my mind, when I see these arpeggios. What's up, guys? The Bald Guitarist here. Today I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite guitar players, Nuno Bettencourt. He's incredible. Specifically today, I want to talk about how he does his string skipping arpeggios. So obviously I'm not Nuno Bettencourt, but I do have his guitar, so basically it's the same. In my attempt to kind of go through how Nuno Bettencourt plays these arpeggios, we're gonna do it without the tapping, we're gonna do it with the tapping, we're gonna do it all the way through the key of F major, and then we're gonna do it through the key of F major with an alternative ending using the Super Mario cadence. Let's get into it. Okay, so level 1. This is going to be very simple. Well, it's not simple. I'm going to put the diagram on screen, and then we're just going to go through this very slowly, a little bit at a time. So Nuno Bettencourt's kind of bass shape that he uses is an add 9 chord, and he uses the D, G, and high E strings. He skips over the B string. And this is the shape that he's going to be using the most often right here. Right there. So what he's doing here is he's playing the root, the 2 or the 9, the major third, the 5th, then he jumps up to the root on the high E string and plays the 3rd again. Now if you wanted to, he usually plays the 3rd, but if you wanted to play the 2, I kind of like how the 2 sounds, so you could do that on top. You could do both. It's just up to you. You know, this is just kind of your base shape that we're going to be using. So level 1, we're just going to kind of go. So that was F major because my root was the 3rd fret of the D string. If I wanted to go up to G, and let's say I wanted to play G minor, I'd go to the 5th fret of the D string. I'd still play 1, 2. And then I would have to flat the 3. So it'd be 1, 2, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3. So you can visualize these. You can visualize the root either from the D string, where your first note that you play, or if you want with the string skip, you can visualize that first note with your index finger on the high E string. Those are just repeated copies of your root note. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 3. So that's your major. Your minor, you would just flat the 3. The 1, 2, and 5 are in the same positions relative to the root note. So that's your bass shape. We'll go through, there's also a diminished shape that you'll need to know when we go through the diatonic, but we'll get there in a minute. So that's level 1, just getting your bass shape right here. Let's talk level 2. All right, so level 2. Level 2 is the exact same thing. We're just gonna add a tap with our right hand. So when we do this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap a 5th up from the root. We're gonna tap a little arpeggio on top. So the easiest way to know where your 5th is, if you don't have your notes memorized, is just to add 7. So since my root note's on the 3rd fret, I'm going to tap the 10th fret. That's really it. You're just gonna add a tap 7 frets above your root note, and then do the same thing on the G string. Really, so if you want to think of it this way, you're just tapping, you're tapping 5, 1, 5. If you know your intervals, you can think of it that way. So we're just gonna tap 5, 1, 5, of our arpeggio with our right hand. If you're not good with intervals, it's okay. You can still use this technique. Like I said, the trick is to just add 7, copy the number, move down 2 frets, right? That's something I talk about with my students a lot. That way is down, not up, because we're going down in pitch. To keep it consistent, the best thing to do is to always talk in terms of pitch. So if we're going this way, we're going down. If we're going that way, we're going up. One more time, add 7 frets. If I wanted to play this B flat major, I would just add 7. So B flat right here on the D string is my 8th fret. 8 plus 7 is 15. So I'll tap the 15th fret. And then remember on the E string, move back, move down 2 frets. So the taps would be 15, 15, 13. And then I'm just playing the bass shape that we learned in level 1. That sounds super cool. Like, you could really just stop right here. You're done. Like, that's all you need. It sounds awesome. But the best way to really get this down is to understand how the chords move through a key. And then you can apply this to any song that you want. You can take freaking Wagon Wheel and like turn it into just like a crazy shred fest if you wanted to, you know? It's music's fair game. You can do whatever you want once you have the music theory behind it. So level 3, let's take our bass shape and then our tapping shape through the key of F major. So we're gonna do this slowly, and I'll have tabs for this in the description. All right, so let's take our positions without the tap through the key of F major. So here we go, we've got F major. We're gonna go to G minor. Remember to flat the 3. Okay. And now this next chord, this would be A minor. Now, my music theorists that are watching might know that because it's the 3 chord, we supposed to flat the 2. So it should, air quotes here, should sound like this. Assuming that I want to stay in the key, stay diatonic. But just for the ease of being able to follow along, we're just going to go ahead and play it with a regular 2 instead of a flat 2. And that would sound like this. Then we're going to go up to B flat major. Then we're going to go up to C major. We're going to go to D minor. And then this one, so this is supposed to be a E minor 7 flat 5. I'm just going to play E diminished for the sake of simplicity. So it'll be like this. And the diminished shape is really cool because it's the same. It's a minor 3rd interval. It's just a minor 3rd interval, and you just move up 1 fret at a time. So if I started on this E, I could go. It's a really cool little arpeggio. And then if you skip the B string, you just copy whatever you play on the G string, you copy to the high E string. So little trick for you. So I'm just going to do this when I get to my 7 chord. I'm just going to do this. And then we're back to F major. So one more time, all the way through without the explanations. So once you have that down, we can start to add the tapping. So once we add the tapping, it's the same all the way through. We just add the 7 frets, except when we get to the diminished. Since I'm doing a diminished chord, you'll just add 3 frets. So like, you can do that through the whole scale. So we'll just add 3 frets on every string, add 3 frets to the ring finger's note, or add 6 frets to where your index finger is. So in this case, I'm on E, which is the 14th fret of the D string. So I'm going to add 6 and I get 20. Then when I move up to 15, I'll move my right hand up to 21. So all the way through, we're just adding the 7 frets and then going back for everything except diminished. So that should sound like this, nice and slow. Little flop there. So you'll see that a lot of these can get really sloppy, and it's really difficult to keep this clean. That's why Nuno Bettencourt's one of the best. He's a lot better than I am. But this is something you could work on, something to get cleaner, something that I'm definitely going to spend a little more time on now that I think that I kind of have figured out what he's doing. This is a new development for me as far as understanding it. So I'm going to spend a lot of time with this. I'm looking forward to it. The last one we're going to talk about is just the same idea, but instead of playing all the way through diatonically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the key of F minor for my 6 and 7 chords respectively to generate what is kind of colloquially known as the Super Mario cadence. And so that basically it's going to be the same all the way. So all the way up to here, it's going to be the same. But here, instead of going to D minor, like I would in the key of F major, I'm going to shift gears into the key of F minor, which means that I'm going to play D flat major. E flat major. And then resolve to F major. So this is just kind of a cool alternative way to resolve your, anytime you're playing a chord straight through the key. Sometimes it sounds really cool to borrow notes or borrow chords from other modes. And that's a really fun thing to do. So that's going to be this right here. So that's the idea. And I will have tabs for this within the description. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you want, leave me a comment on other things you'd like me to talk about. And, you know, anything related to understanding crazy shred guys. I'll see you next time. We're going to talk about I'll edit this back into the beginning of the video. So